I think the opinion of the vast group is that we feel that it's time to get serious about fire protection. We have men and volunteers that even if you don't care about the property, these men are taking their own personal time and their lives are at risk. And we need commitment by our township committee to say, if you can see by the budget, to spend adequate resources to help these people so that when they respond to a fire, they have what they need to do that. And that's where I am. There are people in this town that think we have a big fire. That's how little is known about what the situation is. And my concern is the township committee is making decisions, let's say, have they spoken to the firefighters about whether they want
A little louder, Francine.
Have they talked to the firefighters about whether they prefer 2 firehouses, whether they think it's a good idea to commit our fire resources to a private developer? I have nothing against Mr. Zucker. He's here. He didn't come here to give us gifts, everybody. So I question, there's no such thing as a free firehouse. No such thing. And I'm not saying anything against him. He did a wonderful job to take Bell Works, but let's leave Bell Works alone. Let's get serious about fire protection. A few years ago, we were willing to spend $3.5 million to build turf fields. You tell me why we shouldn't be able to spend $3.5 million at least to give these men and women what they need to respond to save the lives of Holmdel residents. And that's the children playing sports, that's the adults, that's seniors, that's everyone. And I think that's where I can't believe there's a citizen in Holmdel that wouldn't say fire safety is number one. It's time to put our priorities in order. We're building a hotel in Bell Works. I question if there's a fire there and somebody dies, whether some of these men or women might get hurt putting out that fire, or somebody in the hotel gets fired. And I guarantee you a lawyer's going to take that to the courts and sue up to the zoo for that. Because they didn't have enough fire equipment and protection for the residents, let alone putting in a hotel.
It's also questionable as well, since I believe it was the planning board that gave Works the approval for the new hotel without proof of sufficient fire safety and fire access and emergency response for the height of that hotel. We don't have anything to cover the height of that hotel, I believe, in town.
A cynic would say that's why he's building a firehouse.
Yes, we understand that. We understand that. But the point is, well, you're putting the firehouse before the horse, basically, all right? You know, they approved the hotel, and Mr. Zucker is a smart businessman. I mean, he's not going to go in with a hotel unless he's got some kind of preconceived notion that there's going to be something that's going to serve his needs.
Of course.
Sorry, we have a question back here.
Well, it's not a question of comment. This just concerns me even more at the town. We fought so hard to limit development as best we could to keep the rural, suburban nature of this town. Where did 200 one-bedroom units come from? Are they leased? Are they going to be leased? Are people going to own them? We had fought so hard to have fewer units at that Bell Works property. There was a lot of different plans, and we kept trying to reduce the number of units. To me, it just seems it's a win-win for Mr. Zucker, because all it does is give him protection of a fire department right on his property.
Exactly.
It really doesn't help.
And the county doesn't even own it.
It helps the elected officials by keeping the tax rate flat.
I'm disappointed. I love the library. I would like to move it out of Bell Works and put it somewhere else.
Yay.
As soon as I heard that, I worked at Bell Labs for many years. As soon as I heard it was going in the library, I said, how are people going to access this building? Did nobody think about that a lot of young people and senior citizens use the library? I don't want to go. I go to Colts Neck Library now in Marlboro because I don't want to go there. And it's just, to me, it seems that the township committee sold us out by getting into some kind of agreement. You know, I had to miss this, I just got back from a trip, so I don't know how far along the line they've gone with this, but I hope that it
Well,
can
this
be-
is announced just this Tuesday, and then there's a posting followed by the mayor on Wednesday, so it's news, it's breaking news. So.
What is wrong with the firehouse on Main Street, the old firehouse number one?
Oh, it's called back, it's not there.
We didn't own the property.
We had a report from ISO that said we've got 12 months to make some changes or we're going to get a downgrade. So we're aware of it, and they came in and they worked with us for 12 months.
They would have, the letter was.
The
please let
Holmdel
us
official knew
know.
about it, we didn't, we the public.
Right, so he's asking, the
Not
letter said,
us,
please.
the committee.
Yes,
Right.
the township.
So I guess
official.
the question is, what did the committee do during that 12 months
Plan
to
soccer.
prevent the downgrade that we eventually got? And then
Right,
after we're
that's a
done with
good
that, we'll
question.
talk
Plan
about
soccer
what we're
fields.
doing to get back to our other rating and kind of move up to.
I remember asking one of my teachers in college, what's the biggest challenge to understanding the past?
To understanding.
Understanding the past. What's the biggest challenge to understanding the past? And he gave me one of those answers that was quite obvious, and I wish I thought of it. He said, Mike, the biggest challenge to understanding the past is that we know their future. We know their outcome. We know that decision A leads to consequence B. Wait, hold on. We know that if you do this, that will happen. So, this always comes back to me when we talk about how we're going to move forward. What are we doing to move forward? There's two ways to predict the future and how we move forward: consistency and confidence. Confidence in your knowledge in the town, consistency in how we're responding, consistency in governing, consistency in leadership. But wait, let me finish.
Well, just
When
if
it
I
comes
can
to
ask you to
ISO, when it
stay on
comes,
topic.
stay on topic, when ISO,
ISO asked you to do
So
something, they
there's-
said you'll be
there's-
downgraded in 12 months. They're technically predicting the future. They're telling you where you're going to
do you know what goes into ISO? It's not just your
be.
firefighters.
After this, I will go home and I will do some homework.
Do some homework.
And I
So
will call a bunch
your
of insurance
biggest-
companies. And ask.
one of the reasons why our ISO rating dropped is the way we are dispatched. So when you call 911, what happens? When you call 911, depending on where you live in town, depending on if you call from a landline, a cell phone, or a voice-operated internet protocol line, where does that call go? So if you're like me, if you live near the Garden State Parkway, and you call from your cell phone, that call may be picked up by the New Jersey State Police in Edison. Clock's ticking. Okay? Clock's ticking. That call, that 911 dispatcher is then going to receive all the information that the emergency is, and then decide if it's going to county, if it's going to something else. If it's going to Monmouth County, it's going down to Freehold. Remember, clock's ticking. From Freehold, from Monmouth County, it's then sent to our police desk. Our police desk then has to get all the information. That time that it takes is a significant part of what's lowering our ISO. Because when
Can
you
we
call
see this
911,
data?
I'm sorry?
Can we see the
This-
report that
The
says?
data's available, the data's available. Now, but the nuts and bolts of it is not. But as far as that information, the ISO rating information, I believe it's operable, I believe it's out there, I believe it's public information. I haven't seen it on an email, but I've seen the report.
Mike, I think the question is, what did you do during the year?
Well, what did I do?
Not you personally, what did the township committee do during the year in response to that letter?
Right.
You had 12 months, what was done?
It wasn't meant to put you on the spot.
No,
But you're here, I'm just asking a question.
What is,
And I
well,
get your college professor analogy. But
right.
hold on. It's a very simple question.
What have we
They
done?
came down and they said, here's a report, this is what we're recommending, or you're going to be downgraded. So if your college professor had come to you and said, look, you're getting Cs and Ds. Here's what you need to do to get As and Bs. So,
Well, then there's, now you're, what we're doing is, we're getting more volunteers. That's
I'm
what,
asking what
we just bonded $2.5 million to improve our radio program, our dispatch.
Again,
But that's working, that takes time. That doesn't happen
I'm here
overnight.
as a quiet observer. I asked, you gave us a report on X,
Right.
and you've got X plus 365 to do something, and we'll work with you. So somebody on the committee must have said, all right, let's put a task force together. We're going to work with, is ISO the name of the
It's
facility?
the insurance.
Or we're going to work with whoever it is. And somebody in the committee would have said, all right, let's take the recommendations, and maybe we're not going to do A, B, C, D, and E, but let's get A, B, C done. All I'm asking is, what did they tell us to do, and what did we accomplish in that 12-month period?
The biggest thing on that is the radios.
Say again?
Our radios.
So can you,
Can I
anybody
ask a
see, what was the ISO recommendation? What was the township's
The
response?
biggest part, well, one of the recommendations that comes not just from ISO, but from our professionals, our chief of police, our first aid chief, our fire chief. One of the biggest complaints has been communication. And that's the first thing we have to fix.
As a homeowner, I hate to say this, I'm questioning out of my pocketbook.
Of course.
Right, so I'm here for 20 years, and if my premiums are up by 10 to 25% over the course of every year, it's not, I get the fire chief's recommendation, and the policeman's recommendation.
And that's the recommendation of ISO, is to improve
That's what I'm
our,
asking.
is to improve
What's
our
gonna keep the
communication,
premium-
Mike.
which we have done.
Mike,
So I.
the new technology that the $2.5 million we already approved, how does that fix, okay, the cell?
It hasn't even been started.
Okay, but I'm saying, when that comes online, how does that fix the routing of the cell phones, which is the problem that you illuminated, okay?
Why wasn't it done longer? Well, there's competing radio systems. There's a state system, and then there's a county system.
Yeah, but the problem you explained to us, which is a cell phone call on you're going to say Parkway, if you live near it, it's going to get picked up by that cell phone, be routed up to Edison. That has nothing to do with our technology that's on the policeman, on the fireman's belt, okay? How does that fix the problem that you described?
By being more coordinated with the agencies that are dispatching us and that are answering those phone calls.
So basically, the new technology doesn't help that, but we're going to do better coordination.
It improves it.
Well, could you be, I mean, there's a lot of people here that are ex-Bell Labs and communication industry. We know technology. Could you put in more details exactly how that fixes the problem? Because I'll tell you, when I saw that on the report, okay, that we have a communication problem for a paid dispatcher in the police department, I'm saying there's somebody whose job is not getting done correctly here. Okay, that's kind of jumped off my page. We got a paid dispatcher. That's a paid dispatcher up in Edison. There's no excuse for this. Okay, it's not money.
That's out of our hands. That's not a township committee.
Well, it's got to be in our hands because it's our town.